Ladies and gentlemen, podcasting since 2005. You're listening to Gamertag Radio. With your hosts, podcaster Hall of Famer Danny Pena, the always opinionated Paris Lilly, and from outside of the norm, Peter Toledo. This is Gamertag Radio.
Welcome to Gamertag Radio, episode 1036. This is your host, Danny, and also joining me for this episode, we have the whole Gamertag Radio crew. We have Paris here. What's going on, Paris?
Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone listening and everyone watching live. How you doing?
All right. And also joining us is Pete, all the way from Europe, man. What's up, Pete?
Is back. What's up, guys?
All right. So head over to gamertagradio.com. Post your comments and feedback. Listen to our past episodes. And you could find us on any podcast app. All you have to do is search for Gamertag Radio. Follow us. Post a review. It will help us out. And if you would like to be part of Fan Mail, which we're going to be playing some audio later this episode, this is how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so it's been a couple of days after the PlayStation 5 reveal. I know Pete couldn't join us during the stream. But first, before we start talking about PlayStation 5, Pete, your thoughts about the console, the games that they showed? Was there anything that got your attention? We haven't heard anything from you yet.
From a stream perspective, I want to say the only thing that really bothered me, and this is more of a technical thing. It's not even anything else. It's just that the stream was in 1080. When you're showcasing 4K games, you really can't see it. So there was parts of the stream where it looked kind of blotchy. Like the GTA stuff looked so bad. And I don't know if that was a mixture of compression or just pushing 1080. I don't know, just that. But if that's the only nitpick, I can, that's not that bad. Seeing the Miles Morales Spidey thing at the beginning obviously got me hyped. I had talked about it, one or two shows prior to, saying this is what I wanted to see. And they delivered. Ratchet and Clank surprised me. It just might have been the highlight of the stream, and I'm pretty sure that was what Paris was saying as well. Obviously, I didn't get to catch it. I think it jumped on right as they actually unveiled the hardware part of it. Stray looked okay, kind of like it looked like Cybercat 2077. The only thing that maybe bothers me is now we're going to start seeing an oversaturation of cyberpunk looking, games or environments, and it could kind of get fatigued in a sense. Returnal looked dope. Kind of gave me Prometheus meets like Edge of Tomorrow type vibes. So that looks pretty cool. Sackboy was probably the one thing that I saw that actually might convince me to get the console, surprisingly. Not Horizon 2 Forbidden West and Spider-Man, the Sackboy one, because knowing that my wife and daughter are going to be here in about a month or two, that is probably going to be the thing that gets the three of us on the couch playing together, which is, something that as a father or as a parent, I've wanted to do for a super long time. Having moved to Europe and living the bachelor life here, it'll be good to have that experience again. Oddworld looked cool. Mm-hmm. Much more visceral and violent than other versions that we've seen in the past. Ghost World looked okay. I'm curious because I know it's a haptic controller trigger, adaptive trigger response thing. Will that be VR as well? Obviously Horizon, it's Horizon. Guerrilla Games does no wrong. So, I'm sure it's just going to be the juggernaut like the first one was. Now to the hardware, I remember listening and I remember hearing you guys, or I don't know which one, it might have been just Danny that said it, but you guys were like, the weird shapes and how is it going to vent? But that entire strip on both sides of the white is all vents. So, and you could obviously place it both ways, but I think vertical is going to be the one that dissipates the heat the most. Based on comparison of scale of the USB port and the disk drive sizes, like obviously the internet sleuths have gone all over the place. I was actually watching a Digital Foundry video this morning, also talking about how it's going to be larger than the PlayStation 3 potentially, just based on the sizes of those two things, right? The USB port scale and the disk drive scale. So size matters all of a sudden. Going through the video, it just they threw a lot of things out there at the end that kind of almost felt like they were overcompensating for the stream. They talked about the charging stand, a video camera, a media remote. And it kind of gave me a feel like, did we just have Freaky Friday again? Because all of a sudden now they're having Microsoft 2013 vibes. They're trying to have that. They're trying to play that role. Where now, what happened to focusing on games? And then the question I want to ask you guys, and obviously those in the chat or those listening, get us back on either on Discord or on voicemail. The whole price thing. Why did they hold off on price? Are they waiting for Microsoft to announce? I know the three of us talked about this on our private chat. Do we think they did more damage than good by holding off? And then did the overall show less confidence in hardware or their strategy in general?
No, I think it was smart for Sony to wait because it's better to see what the competition is doing, and I don't see them as like losing customers by not announcing the price. They could still do it in August and still say, hey, pre-order right now, and a lot of people are going to be pre-ordering it. So I think that's fine. And I think it's going to be the same thing with Microsoft next month when they show the first party games. Wait, remember that if there was no COVID and there would have been Gamescom, I think both companies would have still announced the price and show more stuff about the hardware at Gamescom. So I think that it was smart for Sony, just focus on the content, because honestly, Pete, the whole event over 60 minutes of just straight up games. Focus on that. Show a little bit about the console. And then the next stream that they have, focus more on more games. Also show us more of the launch titles, and then talk about more about the hardware. What type of features are we going to get to see, like the dashboard, stuff like that. Get people excited, and then announce the price. Pre-order now, and people go nuts. I think that's what will work. So, what you think, Paris? You think the same thing or no?
I mean, we've talked about this a million times. Neither one of them is going to show the price anytime soon. Honestly, I think this will drag into mid to late August before we see either one actually say the price of PlayStation 5 or of what the Series X is going to be. I'd also say, with the fact that we have an all digital version of the PlayStation 5 is clearly a sign that this is an effort for them to try and get this thing as cheap as they possibly can. I know there's been rumors out there of $399 for the all digital. I honestly, that'll floor me. I'll be shocked to see that. I think $450 at a minimum wouldn't surprise me, even if the all digital version was $499. The price war thing is just going to be fascinating to see. Honestly, we're all just spitballing and guessing at this point, because the specs tell you that the PlayStation 5 costs a lot more than $500. It's just a fact. But how much they actually sell it for and how much they're willing to take a loss will be the key. So it's interesting to see. Honestly, I'm not bothered by the way it looks. It is what it is. I really don't care, as long as as long as it performs the way that we hope it does. I know the rumors have cropped up again about it potentially having some overheating issues. And that was my first question. If you go back and watch the live stream when they showed it, I go, how are they cooling this thing? That's the only thing I really want to know at this point about the hardware beyond the specs is, what is the cooling system going to look like in it? There has been some speculation about it's going to be another jet engine as well. It's not going to be whisper quiet. So, but that's all speculation until we get more information over the next couple months. I mean, you know, we're just spitballing. So overall, it was a good show. I still question their launch lineup. That's kind of my biggest thing coming out of this. And I'm gonna be careful with my words here.
You will be held to them.
I know. No, because I was told this by someone that does know. But the Miles Morales Spider-Man is a PlayStation 4 game. Don't be fooled into thinking that this was built from the ground up for the PlayStation 5, because it wasn't. This was originally going to come out on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But when you look at the launch, the games that will be coming at launch for PlayStation 5, they don't excite me beyond Miles Morales. And the other thing about Miles Morales, it is in the vein of Uncharted
absolutely.
Lost Legacy. Just so people know. Now, and maybe Insomniac has done some things to change a few things, and maybe it's taking advantage of the SSD for faster load times. Those questions are still out there. And Insomniac obviously came out because there was the whole controversy with IGN posting, whatever Sony execs, said that it was basically DLC or an expansion, and then Insomniac had to come out and clarify that no, this is a standalone game, which yes, of course, but like I said, this was meant for the PlayStation 4. This is a PlayStation 4 game. This can run on the PlayStation 4. So if I have any critique, and PlayStation fans, go ahead at Vicious696, get mad at me like you usually do. This is the problem that I have early on in launch, and this. Yeah, I actually agree with Microsoft in this, by them not forcing their early launch games to only play on Series X, to say, hey, if you got an Xbox One, you can still play these games. It's consumer friendly. What Sony is going to do with Spider-Man is they're going to literally use Spider-Man to force you to go buy a PlayStation 5 if you want to play it in 2020. Ridiculous, because the best games for PlayStation are still PS4 games. Last of Us 2, obviously getting 10s across the board. Shout out to Skill Up. He was the only one that went against it. And, Ghost of Tsushima is coming out. So when you look at the best PlayStation games for 2020, they're PS4 games. And if you think Spider-Man isn't one of them, you're fooling yourself. If you're buying a PlayStation 5, you're buying it because you're a hardcore fan and you just want one. Because show me the games that are launching on the PlayStation 5 that are worth spending whatever the hell this thing is going to cost in 2020. And again, I've thought about this over the past few days, and no, I'm not getting a PlayStation 5 because I'm not going to get one for Spider-Man in 2020 unless something really changed. But I am in a situation where I have a PC that is going to be able to play all the third-party games better than a PlayStation 5 anyways. So this isn't an Xbox PlayStation thing, so you can save the console war silliness. It's just simply comes down to this. Having games that are exclusive to that platform that justify the purchase. I'm not seeing it right now. Now, when Ratchet hits, now we can start talking. We don't know when Ratchet's going to come out. Maybe it's spring. Maybe it's holiday 2020, 2021. We don't know. And then obviously Horizon Forbidden West is out there as well. So yeah, that's just how I see this PlayStation 5 reveal. Were the games good? Yes, absolutely. There was games for everyone. Sackboy is something that interests me as an example. Obviously, I already said Horizon, Ratchet, things like that. But none of that's coming in 2020. And that's really my only critique that I have of it. And I know people will get upset because they want to do the console war thing, but it's not about that. It's about the games. And I'm not seeing the games for me in 2020 outside of Spider-Man. But I don't think that's going to be enough to make me want to go around and get a PlayStation 5 day one. Now, I'll flip this to Xbox really quick, just to simply say, to me, this opens a window and opportunity for them in July. If they can show in July, we got Halo coming, we got Forza, we got Flight Simulator, we got new IP, family-friendly game all coming in 2020. If they can have a strong launch lineup, that is not to mention, they're also telling you, we ain't forcing you to go buy the hardware. That really can give them momentum in the quote unquote next gen, because they're basically saying, here's our strong launch lineup in this holiday. You can play it on Series X if you want. You can play it on freaking Lockhart if that's a freaking thing. You can play it on the Xbox One X, S, microwave oven, Project X Cloud, PC, wherever you want. I like that approach because it's approach of choice. And we've been saying this for the longest, whereas clearly PlayStation is not doing that. Let's see how it plays out. That's all. So I'm done.
You know what game I was thinking about that I think most likely might come out during the time where the series comes out is Psychonauts 2. And the only difference is, yes, it's going to be available on all consoles, but this game is also going to be on Xbox Game Pass. So that's like a family friendly game there, Paris. Do you think that's enough? Yeah, that game looks good. I got to see it at E3.
I mean, maybe. Again, let's see what they show in July. And again, I'm not trying to turn this into an Xbox thing. I'm just saying as an example, now that we've seen the quote unquote PlayStation 5 reveal, all right, Xbox, let's see what you're going to do in July. That's really all it comes down to. And again, it comes down to games. I cannot stress that enough. I won't rant because Jesus Christ, the console war just annoys me so much. But it's games. Yeah. It's games. What games am I playing? What am I going to have fun when I turn on the console and I pick up a controller? That's all it comes down to. I don't really care if it's PlayStation, Xbox, or whatever. Just give me good games. And I'll say for the 10,000th time, history is repeating itself again. When these new consoles come out, the first couple years of a generation do not take true advantage of the hardware. People love it's going to be different this time because of the SSD. You just saw the reveal. All those games, guess what? They're coming out a year to 2 years after the launch that will take advantage of the hardware. So, yeah, if you get one console and it's going to rely heavily on third-party and indie, that's just how it works. And yeah, you'll have a couple great games that come in the first year or two. They're exclusive to the platforms, but that's just the way it works. So I don't know. And I'll say it again. Miles Morales is a PlayStation 4 game. Don't be fooled. It's not a PlayStation 5 game, but it's being sold as a PlayStation 5 game that should be a PlayStation 4 game for $40.
Think about this.
Yeah.
The Last of Us 2 is coming out this week for the rest of the world. That's the only game that's been released so far that's been designed or developed exclusively for the PlayStation 4 Plus. Look how late in the cycle or in the generation that we are that game is now coming out where it's taking full advantage of the hardware, et cetera.
Pause you on a second. What do you mean it designed exclusively for the PlayStation? You said Plus. I'm assuming you meant Pro, but what do you mean by that? I've never
Pro. Sorry,
because I've never heard that
PlayStation
before.
4,
What is it taking advantage of?
Okay, actually, that's if you listen. It just got. I think it was like 8 hours ago. The new Digital Foundry. They did a comparison of the PlayStation 4 Pro and how it takes and a hardware analysis. It's not their full review because like it shows how frames per second plays out, and they've got the little graph that goes in comparison to the PlayStation 3 version and PlayStation 4 versions and stuff like that. But that was one of the things that Ledbetter actually mentioned is that The Last of Us 2 is the only game that's come out so far that was developed solely to take advantage of the PlayStation 4 Pro. That being said, look how late in the generation we are where we're getting a title that's being developed specifically for a hardware platform. So take into consideration how long it's going to take for developers to develop specifically towards that hardware, right? So like you're saying, like Horizon 2, that wasn't developed for the PlayStation 5. Obviously, it was developed for PlayStation 4. So how many new IPs or new titles are we going to see that have been developed? It's going to be a couple of years until we see that. So we're going to see some cross-generational titles come out for a while until people can start, developing solely for the 5.
If you look at the stream that we had about the reveal, like I even mentioned it, like, man, this looked like a PlayStation 4 game, the Spider-Man game, but I don't know, like the thing I want to ask you guys is what's up with the communication between the developers and also the execs, because when I was reading Twitter about the Spider-Man game, people thought, is it a standalone? Is it an expansion? Are we going to see Spider-Man from PlayStation 4 plus the expansion together into one? Like it was very confusing the past couple of days, but then Insomniac came and like, no, this is a standalone game. I was like, all right, good. So I don't blame the developers at all. But here's the issue that I have is the exec saying something else where the messaging will be very confusing for everybody. And that's why it's good to have people in the gaming industry that knows about games. Because a lot, and goes to every company, sometimes they hire people that are not gamers. They don't know anything about games. It's just pretty good at what they're at, like when it comes to like marketing and stuff. But what are your thoughts about that? The messaging that was going around on Friday about Spider-Man. Like, what are your thoughts about that, man? I don't blame Insomniac at all. But what do you guys think? Paris, you want to go first?
I honestly, I really don't have too much of an opinion on it because this is just a repeat of history. This just continues to happen where you see a disconnect from the executive level down to the developer level about what a game is. So this was a Sony exec that misspoke, and then the media cycle has, instead of it being about the PlayStation 5 reveal, it's about Spider-Man. Is it standalone or is it an expansion or DLC? I mean, you know, it is what it is. Mistake, but Insomniac was able to clear it up the next day, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Anything else about the PlayStation 5? I'll tell you one thing for me. I was very surprised how big that the console is. I was not expecting that to be that big. Do you think that's important? The size?
Yeah, because again, I come back to, how are you cooling this thing? So obviously the size is part of how they're cooling it. I mean, it's a slimmer design than what the Series X is, but we know what Microsoft is doing to cool the Series X. We just don't know yet what Sony's doing for the PlayStation 5. And like I said, that information's coming. We'll get it over the next couple months.
Mm-hmm. Pete, want to say anything about that before we move on?
No, I think we've beat this over the head enough.
All right. So we have some fan mail questions here that I think we should play here on the show. It's a couple. And by the way, we had a couple of voicemails that was very, very long. So if you do plan to send fan mail to us, just make sure to have it, a minute or less. I think that'll be good, so we could play more voicemails. But if it's like 3 minutes long, like we can't play that on the podcast at all. All right. So it's time for fan mail.
Fan mail at gamertagradio.com.
Hello, Danny, Peter, and Paris. This is Marco Hernandez from Mexico City. Just to let you guys know that I'm a very big fan of the podcast. And, well, hope you guys have a wonderful week.
Hi, guys. It's Devin. Just watched the PS5 presentation. Games are good, but, man, what a ugly, impractical console. Really disappointed. I have a TV stand with all my stuff on it. It's all black. It all lays flat. Just saw a console that I can't do anything with. And, man, just what a time to bring out a white console. Unfortunately, it's a no for me on launch day. I'll be looking for a slim, probably, and a black form factor. I just don't see this as practical. Yeah, disappointing. I just can't see that sitting in my living room, unfortunately.
All right. Well, thank you for that voicemail. Appreciate that. He saw this right after reveal, but you can lay the PlayStation 5 horizontal, so it's not only a vertical thing. I get the color preference. It seems like each one they swap back and forth on white or black. So this is the generation where PlayStation is going to go white. So I don't know. It's personal preference. I mean, I again take the stance of I really don't care what it looks like. I care about how it performs because it's going to sit under my TV or on my desk here in my office. So the way it looks isn't the issue for me, but I understand for some people it is. But what do you guys think? Or Pete?
Is it possible for maybe have like a special console edition?
I love how I said Pete. I said Pete, and Danny just.
Oh, you did?
Cut him off.
I didn't hear it. No, I honestly didn't hear. I didn't hear Pete. I swear to God, I didn't hear it, man. I don't know. It's my connection. I swear to God, I didn't hear Pete.
It's okay. No worries.
I'll
No worries.
edit.
Just continue.
All right.
You should leave it in, please. Please leave it in.
Please. No,
please leave it in. Just continue. Just go ahead. Just continue. Finish your comment.
I'm saying, is it possible that Sony might release like a special edition of Spider-Man and make it the color of Spider-Man, black, like a darker color instead of white? I think that's possible. They'd still have time to do something like that.
They're not going to do that at launch. That's kind of his point. That's his point. He's going to wait until they do a redesign.
But this goes back to what we were talking about, I think, in our private chat right after they revealed it. there's no compelling reason to go out and get one unless you are early adopter with money burning in your wallet. There's no super compelling reason to go out and buy a PlayStation 5. Me, maybe because I don't have one. I don't have a console, so I would be forced to get it. But I don't see a compelling reason. Wait till they come out with a different version, like he says. Wait till they come out with a slim, or wait till they come out with a colorway, or just go to, I can't remember the name of the site. Maybe it's Colorway or something like that. I used to use them for IP phones for work. You can get a custom colored one that they can, or they'll send you a skin one, and you just put it on yourself and you're done.
Hey guys, it's Adam from Megadads here. I wanted to send in some fan mail. I've never done that before, but I got more free time on my hands like a lot of us do. So I'm trying to show the love and throw some support out there for you guys. I've been trying to tune into Paris' streams, and I'm getting caught up on my podcasts. I just wanted to say that I appreciate everything you guys are doing across both the video game space as well as in your activism. You may be getting a little bit of blowback, as I tend to do whenever I speak up about my political opinions or my moral foundations. But I just want to say that there's value in presenting a truth to who you are as a person within the platforms that you created. You're doing a lot of good, and I hope you know that, and I hope you know that we appreciate that, as far as from my corner of the world. Secondly, I wanted to ask you about what your thoughts are on next-gen power. I know you guys talk a lot about how power means nothing. It's all about the games. It's all about the games. But I'm curious how that narrative changes now that we're seeing what's capable on these next-gen consoles. People tend to equate power with visuals, but that's not necessarily so, as we've seen with the Unreal 5 engine demo. I think the conversation is a lot more nuanced than people may think at face value.
I'm going to stop it here. Thank you, Adam, for the voicemail, because it's long, so I don't want to play the whole thing, but we get the complete gist of what he's saying. Megadads, go check them out. They're awesome. Adam has been a huge help to me, stuff I've been doing on YouTube and all that. But to go to his point, as far as the activism stuff goes, I just speak my opinion. Nothing's really different for me as far as before everything that's happened over the past few weeks or even the past few years. Look, I'm going to get it slightly political here, so go ahead and send your angry emails to me, but you need to hear this. Black lives do matter. I freaking matter as an African American living in this country. What has been happening over the past couple weeks is horrible. With the police brutality that's going on, the racism that has been on display is horrible. You're damn right the Confederate flag needs to go away, because it is a symbolism of hate and slavery and racism and just everything else that has been happening in this country the past 400 years. So I shed zero tears for anyone that has a problem with that, because I will tell you this: go pick up a history book, frickin' read, understand what has happened in this country, especially since 1865. June 19th, 1865, or June 19th, 2020 is coming up, which is the anniversary of Juneteenth, where we were freed as slaves, as African Americans in this country. So, yeah, to see what our president was going to do on that date, and he has backtracked, is horrible. And he was going to do it in a place which was the 1921 Tulsa Massacre. Go look it up, because I guarantee you wasn't taught that in school, but go look it up. It is the worst race riot, and it isn't even a race riot. It was the murder of black people, affluent black people in this country. It was the destruction of Black Wall Street in this country. So yeah, you're damn right. I'm very active, and I talk about this stuff on social media. And as far as the blowback goes, I really could care less, because these are people that don't want to hear the truth, because that's all it is. So I'll jump off my soapbox on that and go to the actual video game portion of this. And I'll just simply say, with the power stuff, it doesn't matter, because I've even seen people arguing already about PlayStation 5 and Series X, because one is 10 teraflops and one is 12. At the end of the day, games are going to look amazing on both. And then you look at something like the Nintendo Switch, which doesn't compete on a power level at all, but some of the best gaming experiences we've had this generation have been on that device. So no, power does not matter. People like to just argue about things. That's all that matters. People want to argue and protect their stupid piece of plastic that sits under their TV, because that's their brand and they have their pom-poms out cheering for it. At the end of the day, they're all great. And that's how we should be celebrating this as gamers. They're just great games. Where you decide to play it is your choice, because it's your money, and you shouldn't let any idiot on social media tell you what you should or should not like. All right, I'm done.
Thank you, Paris.
Well, it's not just that. Look at what else, our nefarious leader has done. He also reversed the health protections for transgender people on the 4th anniversary of the shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando that killed,
don't get me started on that. Yeah.
People. Mm-hmm. So don't say, he's just doing. No, these are calculated movements being done by this regime, and I don't even know if I could say it in any nicer terms. So yeah. And yeah, we're going to use our platform because we have the opportunity to. That is one of our tenets of being, a free citizen here in the United States. So if we have the opportunity to do so, we're going to do so. Mm-hmm. So, and if you don't like it, feel free to hit that unfollow or, don't hit that like.
Yeah, let me say this one thing before you jump in, Danny. I will not apologize for my skin tone. I will not apologize for being who I am. And that's what's wrong in this world. People will look at me and judge me because I'm a darker shade than them. It is the dumbest freaking thing in the world. Judge me because I'm an a-hole. Judge me because I'm a freaking prick.
Oh, no, we do
Don't
that.
judge me because of I know you do, but my point is this. The fact that in 2020, this is still a thing is the dumbest thing ever. It is so dumb. And yes, you are an idiot if you're racist. You are, period. I know, send in the emails, shut up and dribble and only talk about video games. But no, the world's on fire right now. And this matters. This is real. This is why you see globally so many protests going on, because white people have finally had their eyes opened to what's happening in this world, especially in this country. So no, I won't be quiet about it. I will be vocal about it. And if you don't like it, quite honestly, you don't need to listen to this podcast. You don't need to follow me on social media. You don't need to watch my videos on YouTube, because I will never shut up about my opinion when it comes to that, ever. So sorry, Danny, I know you wanted to get in, but
yeah, the only thing I will say, just 2 nights ago, black man sleeping by the drive-thru of Wendy's in Atlanta got killed by cops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look it up. There's a video of it too. I've been around doing a lot of things here in the city, and I haven't been watching the news, and I saw that last night, and that pissed me off, man. Like, we were just protesting for someone that died 2 weeks ago, and then this happens 2 days ago. We need change, man. I'm fed up with this crap, man. We definitely need change, man. But with the whole video game stuff, man. Look, me, I love the Nintendo Switch. I've been playing that nonstop. Actually, I know there was reviews about the Outer Worlds. Look, that's one of my favorite games from last year. There was reviews about that game for the Nintendo Switch, and I played it with an open mind. I'm like, hey, let's see. I know it's not going to be like PlayStation 4, PC, or Xbox, but I already have like 25 plus hours of that game, and I'm still playing it. And this is my 3rd playthrough that I wanna finish it on that device. I went out all the way to downtown because I had to do a charity stream, and I took my device and I was playing the Outer Worlds while inside the train while I was going downtown. Like, that's the thing that matters to me, man. Not if I'm enjoying the games. You know what I'm saying? I don't care much about like specs and stuff like that, but that's just me. But I just want to say that very quick. So, let's go with the next voicemail.
I'm only going to play the last one. I'm not going to play the other 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Hey, what's going on, Gamertag Radio? I hope you brothers are doing well. Shout out to you, Paris. Shout out to you, Danny. This is Keon calling from Baltimore. Just wanted to ask you guys a quick question about this upcoming generation. Do you guys think that we are going to see an increase in video game prices? Because we know that before the 360 generation, games used to be $50. Getting to the 360 era, they're $60. Now we have these new technologies being talked about, HDR, along with the I can't think of the other thing that everybody's so hyped up on, ray tracing. And we also got an interview a couple days ago from Jim Ryan that said that he believes that the budgets are going to have to increase in order to keep up with the production of these new games coming up. So do you guys think that we could be looking at a situation where games may hit that $10 increase again, and we could be possibly paying $70 for games in next generation? Just thought I would ask you guys that. As always, thank you guys for the amazing content that you guys continue to pump out. And I hope you guys are being safe out there. Thank you guys so much for all of the hard work. And with that being said, you guys take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Keon, for that voicemail. We really appreciate it. And we appreciate all the love and support that you've shown us over the years. To answer his question, I've heard that rumor too. It was funny. Someone had hit me up about it a few days ago. And while it is possible, there's a couple factors that I personally don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. First and foremost is we are in a global economic depression right now due to COVID-19. So I can't see any company coming out and saying, hey, I know y'all broke, but give us $10 more for your games. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. The other part is, believe it or not, Game Pass. Game Pass almost forces other third party and other platforms that if they were to raise the price, that literally gives Microsoft such a strategic advantage right now to say, don't spend $70 on Halo, subscribe for $10 a month. You get all the games, right? And you don't have to worry about the price increase because we've already set the price with Game Pass with a subscription service. So if anything, if prices were to go up, I definitely think you'll see more subscription services pop up for gaming because then it creates more value for your dollar, right? As far as you playing games, and then it locks you into a particular ecosystem at the same time. So just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think also there's ways for companies to make money besides doing that. Is the special editions that sometimes they release like 3 different versions of like packaging. You'll get cosmetics, you get like a statue, or so they probably will charge like over $100 for that. Like, so that's one way for companies to make more money. Now, if it's a game that is free, like let's say Fortnite, again, there's different ways, microtransaction, cosmetics, all this stuff. Like that's how also companies are making more money. Like I just don't see companies raising the price anytime soon. I just don't see it. But what about you, Pete?
So I'm gonna come at it from a different angle. I've been flamed for this commentary on this show in the past, and I'm gonna stay on that hill. And here's where I plant my flag. This industry has been around for 20 plus years. Budgets for these AAA titles and so on have increased 200, 300 to 500% in some instances, right? We see games like Call of Duty, which, $100 million, $200 million budget to release the game. But the prices haven't jumped in scale for these titles. So yeah, it's understandable when you see, publishers coming out with different ways to make up the difference in cost. I'm not saying that DLC or other monetary efforts to recoup that money make sense or the right thing to do. And what I'm referring to is like monetization and things like that, and loot boxes, etc. But if you think about it, at the end of the day, yes, we're playing an art experience, but these are all businesses. They're just trying to find a way to get that line back to zero and start making money, right? So until either A, we stop pushing out these ultra super budgeted games that don't succeed, or we do what Dave Oshry is doing over in New Zealand with Dusk and other games that he's been making, Maximum Force and stuff like that we saw on PC Game Show last night. Yeah, I mean, we're going to keep seeing this thing. And so I'm not surprised, and I wouldn't bat an eye if I see a title come out that's now $70 or $80. It jumps, another $10, so long as I'm getting the value out of that title. For example, Escape from Tarkov. Yeah, I dropped $100 on there for the Edge of Darkness version, but the number of hours that I've poured into that game has more than made up for that return on investment for me. PUBG, same instance. But if I'm going to pour money on games that maybe get 5, 6, 8 hours worth of enjoyment out of it, I'm not going to see the value of dumping $70. And that's, that's just the way my opinion is. If I'm not going to see the return on investment at the end of the day, like Paris, I'm sure you've more than gotten your money's worth out of whether it be The Witcher 3 or Destiny 2. Even go back to Destiny. We more than made up on that return on investment on that. So yeah, on a game like that, I would have spent $100, whether it's 4 or 5 years ago or today, because I know I'm going to get that value back. And that's the only reason why I would give a justification for them increasing, the cost of games being released now.
All right, so we that's it, right? No more voicemails. So yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up here. Head over to Gamertag Radio.
We are.
I mean, is there any other topics you want to?
So there was the PC gaming show yesterday.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Perfect segue, dude. I alley-ooped it for you and everything, and you just looked at the ball going up like,
Yeah.
I'm not a PC guy, so I'm like, oh, it's all good.
Perfect.
No, I'll just say, because I streamed the PC gaming show. I didn't stream the future gaming show because I had other commitments, so I didn't get a chance to sit down and watch it. But watch the PC gaming show. Enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed it. It's always going to be kind of campy and cheesy, but that's just their style. So I know some people in the stream, didn't realize that going in, but overall solid show. Obviously in this era of COVID and having to do everything virtually, like you just mentioned, Dave, I mean, he freaking killed it with New Blood. Just his segment alone was worth watching it. But a couple games that I want to highlight super quick. Shout out to Devolver Digital. Blightbound is a game that they showed, which was like that classic back in the day Gauntlet type game, bringing it to the new era. I'm all for that. All in, just injected right into my veins right now. I'm here for that. But the game that I'm really hyped about that came out of that was Weird West. It almost had a Disco Elysium type of style to it. It's an action RPG. I love the art style of that game and what they're attempting to do with it. Wolf Eyes, I believe, is the developer, and had a quick little back and forth with them on Twitter, and I was just telling them how excited I was. And, they're very thankful and humble. Game's going to be out in 2021. They're expecting to have a demo for it at some point this year. Highly recommend everyone check that out if you can. I know obviously it's going to be on PC, but I believe it also is going to come to the consoles as well. I believe it's at PS4 and Xbox One. I'm sure it'll go to next gen too. But yeah, that was probably my highlight game that came out of all of that. And there's just so many awesome games that we got to see. And I love that the PC gaming show was able to spotlight these indie / AA games, and it's across the gambit. I mean, you saw some RPG stuff, you saw some survival stuff, you saw things that were clearly aimed at kids, like you saw a Roblox a competitor was in there. There was just so many great games that came out of that. So highly recommend people go back. You go to PCGamer.com and look at the entire list if you want. And then the Future Game Show, I didn't get a chance to check out, only briefly, but I know I saw a couple cool games in there as well. But you always have to remember, indie and AA is the real backbone of this industry. Yes, obviously we love the AAA games, like we're just talking about the exploding budgets and all that. But these are the games that are made with passion and love because they ain't got no budget. They have these small teams. Like we're gonna interview Marcus Lito for Disintegration here next week, and that's a 30-man team that made that game. So there's passion and love that go into these kind of games. So really enjoyed it. Yeah, we just had our PlayStation reveal. We'll get to Xbox. I know EA's doing their thing, Ubisoft, so we can see the big budget games that, we're all going to look at graphically and go, oh, wow, these games may not graphically be the best in the world, but what they're going to bring is the passion and love and the actual gameplay. And that's what matters the most. So just my thoughts on them, Pete. I know you want to jump in on that too.
Yeah, for sure. I actually posted the link for this in our Discord about a week ago, I think it was. And obviously they mentioned it again last night during the stream, but it's the bundle for racial justice and equality from itch.io. It's basically a humble bundle, but all of the proceeds go towards racial justice and equality. Their goal was to raise 5 million. They've done almost 6.5 million. And there's like 1,300 plus titles. Actually, sorry, I'm looking at the number now. Over 1,600 titles. Minimum $5 buy-in. But 1,659 games that you can play for $5. You can donate as much as you want. If you wanted to drop 10, you want to drop 100, you want to drop $16.59, you can do that. But where else are you going to get an opportunity to get 1,600 different types of in-game of game type experience? And I'm not talking like super crap games. There's like Celeste. we've all, talked, we've talked about that game in the past, so yes, they're all indies, but sometimes those are where you get your best experiences, right? So, and they're all DRM free, so you can take them wherever you go. So I'll put the link in the chat. Danny, if you want, put that in the description for the show as well, so people can hit that. And hell, you get to play games, and it's going towards a phenomenal cause. So
yeah, man, I didn't know it was that amount of games. That's a lot.
Like when I posted it was over 1,400, and they're just adding more and more and more daily. So
wow,
dude, that's
so. Wait, so you could buy everything in one or separate? Like, you could do it like that too, or
no,
how that works? Because I've never done that before.
You can drop 5 bones, and you get all of the games. Boom! To play.
That's crazy. That's
so
crazy.
I'm putting that in the chat now, and then I'll send it to you separately so that we can so you can put it in the description as well with a link.
Yeah. So if you're listening to the podcast, just go under the description. Is there? Just click it, and do your thing, man. Definitely take advantage of that, man. It's pretty cool, man. And like you said, it's just for a good cause too, man. So, like you said, Paris, I love indies, man. I play that a lot. For the consoles, I don't have a PC, but indie. The thing that I love about indies is that a lot of developers love to do new things that no other studios is actually doing. They love to take risks, So and this is a different type of experience. Like for me, Celeste, that's a really good game. Thumper, games like that. I know there was Inside. Remember that one? That game was really good too. That came out for Xbox, and I know it came out for the Switch too. And I think PlayStation, where I'm not 100% sure, and PC. But yeah, man, there's a lot of goodies out there, man, that you definitely guys got to take advantage and play it, man, for the first time, man. And they're actually cheap. It's not that expensive, man. Sometimes you'll find games $5, $10, $15, all the way to like 30, So yeah, man. So anything else? Because I don't want to mess it up. I know you guys were talking about the gaming PC gaming show. Anything else?
I'll simply say this, just I guess as we're wrapping it up. So I was fortunate enough to be a co-host on IGN Unlocked this week, and I got to shout out to Ryan McCaffrey. It was a fantastic conversation we had one-on-one, and we speculated on a bunch of different things. But I had my own segment where I broke down the Destiny 2 reveal for Beyond Light, and obviously Destiny earlier this week, Bungie revealed basically the future of Destiny 2, and they showed the complete roadmap going all the way to 2022. And just when I think I'm out, it pulled me back in. I'm back in. I've been playing Destiny 2 again the past couple days, which ironically enough is the first time I've started playing video games, period, in the past couple weeks. I've just completely shut down on gaming. So super excited about that. I also got to make an appearance on Funhouse this week on Dude Soup, and just thank you to James and Adam and Elsie and everyone over there. Had a great time with them. Very fun conversation. It turns out I made their Reddit happy, which is rare, because I killed it on the vampire segment, the Morbius segment. With the
that's so funny.
That just goes to show you how much of a nerd I am. But so some positive things that have come out of all the crappy stuff that has happened the past couple of weeks. And I also want to give a personal shout out over to Khalif Adams to Spawn on Me, because I've just seen him everywhere the past couple weeks, and I'm so happy to see Spawn on Me getting the spotlight and the recognition that it deserves, because I think that show and that platform is very important in this space, and I recommend anyone out here listening to this right now definitely go check that out and go support him and Spawn on Me. And also got some stuff coming I can't talk about just yet, but it's been a crazy couple weeks, but I'm just very thankful for all the support and love and feedback that I've been getting, both good and bad. Because hey, even people that leave negative feedback, it's a chance to learn and to grow. So very thankful for all that.
Yeah, and make sure to subscribe to Paris's YouTube channel. Is there too, man. And I think you said, was it over 6,000 now? Last time I talked to you, it was like 5,000.
It's close to 6,000. Close to 6,000 subs as I slowly but surely grow this thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun.
That's cool. Really, really cool. And yeah, he does a lot of live streams too, man, here and there. So make sure to tune in and check it out, man. So anything else, Pete? You want to say anything else? Good?
Nothing that could be aired on the show.
Okay. All right. I think that's about it. All right. No, so we're gonna wrap it up here. Just want to say thank you everyone for listening. Gamer Tag Radio Podcast. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of new listeners. Been getting a lot of subscriptions. Like I noticed the numbers been climbing, and also the podcast, like from the Apple podcast charts, we went up all the way to like top 16 or something for gaming. So it's really cool. Thank you everybody for supporting and posting your reviews and everything. So really awesome. But yeah, you could go to gamertagradio.com and listen to our past episodes over there. Like I said, you could go to any podcast app. Just search for Gamertag Radio, subscribe, follow us, post a review, whatever you could do to spread the word about GTR. And if you would like to be part of Fan Mail, here's how you could contact us.
Send us your feedback or questions. Give us a call at 786-273-7GTR. Email us at fanmail@gamertagradio.com or leave a message on speakpipe.com/gamertagradio.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned. I'm planning to post multiple episodes this week because I recorded a lot the past couple days, man. So stay tuned. All right, until next time, I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to Gamertag Radio. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.